Hi, Patrick.
Okay, as far as the regions, okay, you can try and see if the fax numbers will go through. Mine didn't go through, so I'm just going to turn around and send it down to the local office, Social Security office, and have them directed up to the regional office.
Okay.
The local Social Security office basically is a bank, okay, in a way. They've got all the access computers to the accounts, so they can process these through the local office too. They're just a branch bank. Mm-hmm. I sent the fax off to the Inspector General, so the fax machine number does work to the Inspector General. And then off to Puerto Rico. Everything that I come across confirms everything that we're trying to do here in this process. Now, Sylvia basically sent me the link there for that Department of Travel. That's not the Department of Transportation. The DOT, Department of Transportation, is a branch of the Department of Motor Vehicles, which is the de jure government side. But supposedly this Department of Travel is on the de facto, or that's on the de facto. The DMV is on the de facto side, along with the Department of Transportation. The Department of Travel is on the de jure side of the government, okay? It's hidden away. They've hidden it away, the de jure side of this government out here. 99% of what we see out here is all in the de facto. But if you read those documents, those web pages for that Department of Travel, and understand what they're saying, and then you need to contact them, okay? Probably not going to be able to call them, okay? You send them the information. It doesn't have, you're not putting down the Social Security number or anything like that in the process. You're not putting down the VIN number for the vehicle when you go to the contact pages for those. So they're going to have to be getting in touch with you to find out that information. Now, looking at the ID card, or the identification card, it has 9. It doesn't have 9 digits. It has 11 digits for the number. That is in the de jure side of the system out here. That birth certificate that we've been running around thinking is our certificate of live birth, that number is basically our 11-digit inheritance number in the process. The selective service number is an 11-digit number. In the de jure side, they operate with 11 digits. In the de facto side, they're operating with 9 digits. Okay? You can believe this or not, okay? I care not. I have my beliefs, you have yours. And that's the bottom line. The reason why we need to take these receipts, and you don't need to do a whole damn bunch. Get $500-600 worth. Okay? Do them yourself. Handwrite them out. Put the effort into it. You don't need some fancy machine or anything like that right now to do this. You can take the receipts, put them on a flatbed scanner, scan them in, and save them as a file. You don't have to print them out. You're going to send the receipt that you have in, okay? You add up all the items and give a compilation of the value into the process, but you're signing those, and those receipts are debt warrants. Just like in a court action. They have warrants. Well, you have to have a debt warrant to set off the other warrant. So we sign these as a debt warrant, these receipts, surrender them, and you sign the front. You don't endorse the back. Okay? Put your name and your banker's EIN and date it if you want to. You can get a stamp made up for this that has most of the information on it, and then you just sign it and date it. And then you put those in, so you're surrendering them. Now they have to do the set-off. But they take that warrant, and that warrant is now issued by you to the Treasury to go and get the funds from the court or from the company or whoever. They have to now cancel out their warranty usage of that amount of money. In other words, they have to pay it back to the Treasury that they borrowed it from. So that's the whole, pretty much the bottom process. You get this going, and now that's canceling out the national debt. The secretary, or that inspector general, everything out here, we know that basically we're under a sort of a pseudo martial law scenario. Okay? But it's not martial law, it's military jurisdictional system. And everything is run by generals. So this Inspector General, SSA Inspector General, is the Inspector General over the SSA Independent Mortmain Treasury out of Puerto Rico. Why are these accounts in Puerto Rico? Because they can't be on continental United States of America. It's against the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the statutes at large to have a mortmain. It's down in Puerto Rico. That is why Puerto Rico has never become a state. Even though they want to become a state, the bankers cannot, and the government cannot allow them to be a state because of the mortmain accounts that they're holding. And Puerto Rico is a territory, so they're operating strictly under the codes of law, not the Constitution. Now, does anybody have any problem with that understanding?
Not at all.
There isn't too much more I can add to this. And when you read that stuff about the right to travel and everything, it's all right there. You don't need a driver's license because you're not a driver. You're not operating for hire. You don't need to have your vehicle registered, because to have your vehicle registered, you are gifting it to the state to utilize it in their endeavors. And if the state is going to be the user of it, why in the God's name would you ever have to pay them to use your shit? That is insanity. That's why they have control over you, because you're coming in as an insane person. You're showing total incompetence in the process. When you're paying somebody else to basically use your stuff for their benefit, that's ludicrous. I didn't see any price tags or anything like that on getting those plates or the ID or even the passport off of that DOT, Department of Travel website. Exactly. Some people are saying it's a scam, that basically it's a back door to some alley set up in Washington, D.C. I don't think so. It's not going to be right out front. It's got to be hidden. Okay? It's got to be for those that believe, that have faith and believe in the reality of things. Not the wimps or not the non-believers out here. You have to believe in the real law. Christ has returned. Christ is the real law. Christ came upon the scene in Jesus' time. Jesus came on the scene 400 years after the Roman Empire started its control. Christ stands for cast in iron. The law cast in iron. The law is basically what is out here. The Word. And the Word shall be. And that is the law. That's from the very beginning of the Bible. Moses had the law cast in stone.
It could be destroyed.
The Babylonians had it cast in gold. The Medes Persians had it cast in silver. The Greeks had it cast in bronze or copper. The Roman Empire had it cast in iron. And that's what Christ stands for, is cast in iron. There is no hocus-pocus person named Christ that's going to appear upon the scene and save your young ass. Resurrect you and take you to never, never happy land. Happy land is right here. You have to make it so. When you study this, you'll see that that's all that it is. I get a kick out of all these preachers and everything on the radio, listening to them, and boy, are they way the hell off target. Out here waiting for the resurrection. Oh, they're going to be redeemed. They're going to be this. They're going to be that. They've been taught the same old bullshit. How was the Bible printed in modern time? By iron. The ink type was iron. Letters. I mean, how more obvious can it be than that? That the law is cast in iron. The Bible is cast, printed. And when you bring the real law in, you are now resurrecting Christ.
That's right. That's like
it's no religion bullshit. It's law.
That evens the playing field. That puts you on the even.
Speak up a little.
I said it seems like that puts you on an even playing field in terms of status in this society or civilization, whatever you want to call it. How does it free you from the Babylonian system by doing this process? Is what I don't understand.
Well, basically, the Babylonian system was nothing more than baby contracts, baby land. Okay, that's Babylon. Okay, baby, LON, baby land. That's what Babylon is all about. It's baby land. They're taking care of you. I mean, if people really understood the book of Daniel and all these ministers out here, they have no damn idea whatsoever about what was going on in the book of Daniel. They couldn't interpret a damn dream if they had to. They're only followers of what they've been told to put out. I mean, free thinkers are not in the colleges. The colleges only put out controlled thinkers. The free thinkers are basically outside the system. They don't need the college. Okay. So, and then basically when you get your understanding, get some cash back in your pocket by going and get some of these receipts, then you can turn around, take your DD-214 or your certificate of live birth, which is really your birth certificate, okay, certified copy, put an endorsement on the back for so much value, releasing that amount of credits from the account and have them transferred over to one of your other Mortimain accounts, your local bank, or your debit card, your Direct Express card, or your Treasury Direct card. They all belong to your fictional person, your Mortimain person. Everything that's operated in the commercial world in this country is bought and sold by your fictional person, your Mortimain account. Okay? Now, he can give stuff over to the living. Just like when I bought my automobile. My Mortimain Direct Express debit card paid for the vehicle, but the title was transferred over to my Patrick Devine Private Bank and Trust, E&T, or Private Bank E&T, Estate and Trust. go to the grocery store. You buy, even with Federal Reserve dollars. You're not buying the thing that Mortimain person is with that Federal Reserve debt dollar. He's buying that can of soup. But what's he doing? He's transferring the title to that can of soup over to you, and you go home and eat it as the living. The dead ain't eating it. And then you have to turn around and get your compensation back in the process, because the commercial world has been using our stuff and they owe the rent. Pretty much that damn simple. And then you always follow up everything with this. And basically, if they do not comply, like even the utility company or anything like that, if they do not comply within the 3 days' time and give you the receipt of setting that off, so you can turn around and take that receipt as a warrant, a debt warrant, and cancel the debt. But see, they should be canceling the debt with the Treasury. They should be the ones doing the 1099-A. Or C, I mean, for the cancellation of the debt that they owe to the Treasury. When we do the endorsement of the bill and set it off, releasing the credits that they're holding. Now they don't owe those credits back to the Treasury. So they do a 1099-C. The same thing that a banker would do with a 1099-B for a mortgage. They would have to do the mortgage 1099-B back to the Treasury when you endorse and release the credits to that mortgage. You do the follow-up with the Inspector General on the fraud hotline. Because everything out here is being done in fraud, identity theft. They have stolen your living identity and used it as a dead identity. This is all covered in Title 46. USC Title 46, Chapter 73 and 573. 573, these Mortimain accounts were supposed to be terminated at the age of 25. The usage of them is under Chapter 73 to where you are a merchant seaman. But you need to do your W-8-BEN, substitute W-8-BEN that I posted up there, and you are coming in. Now, you have your individual banker's EIN. You have to have that. You have to have your 3 EINs, your 3 persons, your estate person, your foreign grantor person, and your individual banker person. Your estate is the Son of Man. Okay? The foreign grantor trust is the Holy Ghost in a religious connotation, and the individual banker is the Fatherhead, the chief financial officer of your bank. You are now a bank. You are banked with your 3 persons. And you are now a foreign ambassador in, for, and of Christ the law. Your 3 persons in, for, and of. And then look at that W-8-BEN, okay, and go to the instructions. And now, since you have an individual banker's EIN with your private bank, estate, and trust, you are now classified as a foreign financial institution, an FFI. I tried to reiterate or put that out last Wednesday on the call, the importance of that.
Yeah.
Any court case, you are coming in as the fiduciary, the fiduker, the head fiduker. I like that word. Yeah, you take and kick ass. They are just agents, assurance adjusters. In most cases, that's all these courts are. It's all about insurance or assurances. And they're just adjustment agents. And you're the one that has the hammer. You just need to utilize the hammer properly. You're the Thor, or the thorn in their side. I mean, all these stories out here have been telling people a lot of things. People just never have the broad-mindedness to sit down and think about these things in a proper connotation. It'll blow your mind when you do this, when you open your mind to reality. You will become unstoppable. Okay. That's about all I got. And I think that's $1 million wrap right there.
Yep. Someone had a question?
Yeah, about that hotline, that Inspector General hotline. What are we doing with that? You calling there to say basically what? What are you reporting there?
You can call them up and complain, okay? That's what a hotline's all about. It's the fraud hotline.
Right.
The court or whoever is committing fraud upon you. You put the complaint in.
Patrick, I sent my electric bill in last Monday. They probably got it Wednesday. I just looked at my account online, and it's not been set off. So basically, do I call them?
Well, get on the phone and call them up and find out what the status is. And say, if you're not going to comply with this, I'm going to turn around and inform the Inspector General over this account.
Right. Okay. That's what I figured from what you said. Good.
Yeah,
okay.
And they see when you send these bills back to them, you need to make it a special attention going to the chief financial officer of that company.
I did. Okay. Now I have I did my electric bills, and I've got my 4 set-offs done, and I'm going to turn around and do receipt for the electricity, water, and a big U-Haul bill. But I just found a 1099-A from Rushmore that they had sent me 2 years ago when they sold the house from under me. That's and I got the borrower's copy. That's basically a receipt for me. I can turn that in.
Try it and see.
Okay. It's a substantial amount. But yeah, that's because it would look like all I have to do.
Well, yeah, and let them know that basically they were committing fraud when they tried to do. See, they're trying to claim that is abandonment, okay?
Right.
And see, that's total fraud.
Right. Yeah, I was planning to do a cover letter bringing up the fraud based on your set-off letters, tailor it a little bit to them. Good. Okay. I will do that.
No.
Thank you.
You have to get in there and complain. And then, like anybody that's in a court action, you have to understand the importance of confession and avoidance. You have to understand the importance of the Baby Act.
Okay.
And the other items that I put up there about the law out here. Stop arguing with them. Basically, they want some funds. They're holding the thing. You release it to them. Now, if they do not set it off, who is now in violation of the law? They are. They have the dirty hands. But if you confess and you basically give the endorsement to release the funds, the credits, because you gave them a letter of credit at the beginning with your signature and your Social Security account number. You have to release those credits. Now, if you feel that there's fraud, you still release the credits. You have clean hands. And then you turn around and put the complaint in to the Inspector General about the fraud that's being perpetrated.
Oh, okay.
Let the Treasury take care of it. They're the ones that owe the funds back to the Treasury. You don't try and take care of all this. Let your, basically, agents take the responsibility to set off and correct the problems. People are sticking their nose into a lot of things that they have no jurisdiction or no right to be doing. You're not being paid to do that shit. Let the ones that are being paid take care of their job. Anybody have a problem with that?
No.
No.
Actually, I read the paper that you put up, the creditors and their bonds plus the hidden commercial court process.
That came from Sylvia, and basically one of the other guys put another one up there. Young, he put up the complete package, I think, for that. I don't know whether it got up on the site or not.
I got
that, and then Sylvia is also the one that put up this item about the Department of Travel. And there's also a private Attorney General contact there in Washington, D.C.
The process it talks about in there are a fair amount different from what you're saying, but it still goes along well with what you're saying is don't fight with them, accept it, and then go after the fraud with the Treasury.
You're not really accepting it. You are basically releasing the credits. Okay?
Settle.
You are surrendering the credits to them to settle the bill that they're and the credits that they're holding. You're out nothing.
Right.
They owe you rent. Make them use the rent that they owe you. Because if you pay out of your back pocket, then they are going to turn around and claim the rent back anyway because you abandoned it.
Right.
That's the game that they're playing.
So they get it the second time with the 1099-A. Okay.
Yeah, they turn around and claim it as abandoned property after 3 years. under that warrant, that debt warrant that you did not process and send it to the Treasury so that the Treasury can go and claim that money back, the credits back from that company. That's why you have to submit these receipts in, because they're warrants. You've got to give them to the Treasury so that the Treasury can do their job.
Good.
Is Sylvia on the line?
Huh?
Is
Hello?
Sylvia on the line?
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Because I want to know how long this place been in existence. I went through the entire website, and all of the information that they provide on the website is sound as it relates to law. But I'm just curious as to how long they've been around, because it's just ironic that they would be this sound and be around for how long? How long has this been right here in plain sight? They say that they're down there in D.C. I intend to go there. I'm not far from...
Okay, stop right there. How long has Christ been around? And nobody knew where the fuck Christ was at. He's been standing right there. The law has been standing right there next to you. You just didn't know that was Christ. These offices have been there for a hell of a long time.
My point exactly.
Yeah, you have, if they do something, they have to supply a remedy. So when they started setting up this commercial system, the remedy had to be set up at the same time. There is your start date. Come on, think about it, people. Use common sense.
Wow.
Yeah, and we didn't have computers before either, so now we have a little better chance of finding it.
See that?
But see, even in their website, it does not say that you have to do this. It doesn't say you have to do a recording of your vehicle. It does not say that you need to have this identification card. It's advisable because now it's got somebody else standing there helping to protect you. But it doesn't tell you you've got to do this. Read it.
Oh, I read it.
Yeah, and it didn't tell you you had to do this.
No, it's not compulsory at all.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to have a identification card. You can make up your own. You can go down to the sheriff's office and get a identification card attached to your fingerprints when you do a blue copy request of your fingerprints. I've done that. So I've got an identification card there. I've got quite a few different things out here that I did basically in a roundabout way, not knowing that basically the powers those things had at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I went ahead and did them. I mean, basically when I was buying the car, I knew certain things. I stepped outside, I'd go smoke a cigarette, come back in, say, oh, I want this done. I want that done. Because I went outside and I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, I don't want any warranties on that. Because if there's a warranty, Ford Motor Company has a claim against that vehicle. So I don't want Ford Motor Company to be able to utilize that vehicle as collateral. I don't want the state to use it as collateral. So I'm not going to take it down and license them and then pay them to use my damn vehicle. I'm not going to tell them I'm insane. I may be, but basically I'm not going to tell them that.
And the interesting thing about the DTA site, is that it provides you with information on how to do that.
Yeah.
It's amazing that it's been sitting there all that time. It's just perplexed by that.
And then think about it. All the state vehicles have DOT license or tags. They're not licensed. They're not paying any fees for those because they're coming in there as a non-profit organization. Now, the operators of those vehicles, like the cops and like the workers and everything else that are working for the county and stuff like that, they all have to have a driver's license because they're an employee.
Right, exactly.
We have city buses here that are making money commercially, and they have exempt tags.
Yeah, because they're trying to claim exempt status in certain endeavors on usage of that stuff on the road. They're not out there driving the vehicles, making a profit on the highway. They're using the vehicles to get from one place to another. Okay, they're not carrying passengers for a profit or anything like that. So that vehicle is not for hire. They're not a taxi, they're not a bus, they're not any of that. It's only those type vehicles that need to have a license.
Well, I just said the buses have exempt, so they're stretching it.
Yeah, they're stretching it. Okay. Yeah. And see, they're in violation of the law because nobody's complained. But now you've got to realize there's the DOT and there's the DOT.
Mm-hmm.
The Department of Travel and the Department of Transportation.
Yep, more smoke and mirrors.
Yes. One has to pay. The other one doesn't. One is for hire, the other one isn't.
Yep. It's kind of fun to learn this, Patrick. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. But then, see, you get a DOT tag on your vehicle. Basically, you're coming in, and you have to know that you're coming in under the Department of Travel, the right of travel. And that's all a passport is, too. It's a right of travel. So it's coming in under the Department of Travel. We don't need to go to the Secretary of State or to the Attorney General or whoever issues those damn U.S. passports, commercial passports, with a 9-digit number. And we're coming in as a FFI, a foreign financial institution. So we will have a foreign passport.
I noticed the tag here is even tag as foreign national.
Yeah. The true terminology, you would be a foreign financial institution because you are a private banker. And that is foreign to the commercial bankers. Okay, anybody else have anything? If not, I'm going to drop off here. Now, basically, I sent a bunch of the sticks out. Hopefully, everybody that I owed one to got it. If you didn't get the stick and I owe you one or whatever, either Skype or send me a link on the phone or text me your address and I'll send you one.
Patrick?
Yes.
I have a question. In filling fiduciary, according to canon law, fiduciary is the equivalent of trustee.
No, it's higher. Canon law is another codes of law, okay? They're going to try and deceive you. Canon law is not the law in iron.
Okay.
Okay? It's that simple. Just like 99% of the UCCs and everything else. They're all codes. They're hiding the dead, okay? But you are the fiduciary in the living world. In other words, you're Thor and you have the hammer and you can lower the boom.
So is fiduciary higher than executor?
Yes,
It's
very much higher.
Well, I thought that the
executor is only for the dead. The fiduciary is over the living and the dead, both.
Okay. And the executor doesn't appoint the fiduciary?
You want to be an executor, be an executor, okay? I'm telling you what to do, okay? You become the fiduciary, the fiduciary.
I'm just trying to understand.
No, you're trying to argue a point because you've been drilled into your mindset that basically everything like David Clarence, it's got to be executor or whatever. All these people that have been out here on all these talk shows, they're complete idiots, okay? They've got some good information.
I'm not listening to them. I just... Okay,
you have in the past, okay? Everybody has in the past, so don't deny it, okay? We've had misleadings. I've had a bunch of misleadings. I've been down a lot of damn wrong trails.
I'm trying to learn this, and I don't need you to yell at me.
Okay, then get the fuck off the damn line. I don't need to have somebody like you on the line, okay? You want the information? I'll give it to you.
I'm asking
for the information. If you can't get over somebody raising their voice just a little, okay, then you don't belong here.
I'm
because
asking
you've got to get mad as hell. You go and watch the movie, okay? That basically talked about this back in the early 70s. The network.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
Okay, I'm done talking.
Thank you, Patrick.
Good night, Tom.
Thank you.
Good night, Patrick.
Good night, Patrick.
Good night, Patrick.
Thank you. Yeah,